All right, Shalom. We are the Hebrew Israelites from the Indianapolis camp of the Great Millstone, and we're to give all praises, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash.
double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well in teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and our fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also, salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth that be like it to the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And they are as follows: the tribe of Judah, the so-called Negroes; the tribe of Benjamin, the so-called West Indians; the tribe of Levi, the so-called Haitians; the tribe of Simeon, the so-called Dominicans; the tribe of Zebulon, the so-called Guatemalans, the Panamanians; the tribe of Ephraim, the so-called Puerto Ricans; the tribe of Manasseh, the so-called Cubans; the tribe of Gad, the so-called North American Indians; the tribe of Reuben, the so-called Seminole Indians; the tribe of Naphtali, the so-called Argentinians, the Chileans; the tribe of Asher, the so-called Colombians, the Uruguayans; and the tribe of Issachar, the so-called Mexicans. To you, we say Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, we'll just get right into it.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 34, and verse 1. It says, "Come near ye nations to hear, and hearken ye people, let the earth hear, and all that is in the world, and all things that come forth of it."
And this is the prophets, calling for the prophets to speak to all the nations and let them know the coming prophecies of this world, okay? Namely the salvation of the nation of Israel, the elect of Israel. Okay.
This is Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. Before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nation.
Yeah, because he said, before I formed thee in the womb, I knew thee. He knew what his prophets was before they came into existence, okay? And he said he sanctified you. What the sanctification means? To make you holy, to make you separate, okay? And made you a prophet unto the world. You got to say these things. And prophecy, it means to say before, okay? Say the things that are going to happen before they happen, all right?
The dictionary. Yep. Ordained. It says to establish or order by appointment, decree, or law.
And that's the thing. He established us as prophets, okay? Out here to deliver his word.
Verse 6. Then said I, Lord Yahweh Bashmashai power, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. But the Lord Yahweh Bashmashai said unto me, say not I am a child, for thou shalt go to all that I send thee, and whatsoever I command thee, thou shalt speak.
He said he's a child, so he was a little hesitant about doing the work of the Lord, but the Lord said, say that you're not a child. You're going to do as I command you to do. That's a commandment. When you're a prophet and he sanctifies you as a prophet, you are commanded to do that work, okay?
It says, be not afraid of their faces, for I am with thee to deliver thee, saith Yahweh Bashmashai.
He says, be not afraid of their faces. And that's that's going to be the wicked folks who are looking at you, don't understand what's going on, coming against you, scoffing, okay? No matter what happens, our job is to do this prophecy. Get out here and spread this word, of his coming, all right?
Verse 9. Then the Lord Yahweh Bashmashai put forth his hand and touched my mouth. And the Lord Yahweh Bashmashai said unto me, behold, I have put my words in thy mouth.
He said he's put his words in Jeremiah's mouth. That's the same thing he did to Moses in Exodus 4, I think it's 10 through 12.
Right.
Same thing he did, all right? Okay, we are doing his work. Yeah, as the scriptures say, he does nothing. He revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets, okay? So he speaks through us. We are doing his work. As the scriptures say, he has spoken by the mouth of the prophets since the beginning, according to Luke 1, 68 through 70, all right?
Last verse. Verse 10. See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms, to root out and to pull down, and to destroy and to throw down, to build and to plant.
So yeah, he said he sent him to put over the nations, okay, to root out, okay. He's going to tell those heathen nations their transgressions of what they did to us, while at the same time speaking to the elect of Israel, telling them what they need to do to be built up, okay, and come out of this wickedness, all right?
This is Jeremiah 28:7. It says, "Nevertheless, hear thou now this word that I speak in thine ears and in the ears of all people. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesy both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence."
God, he said the prophets that have been before, prophesied again. As the scriptures say, the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. Right. Okay, so what has been happening in every generation, the prophets have gotten out and prophesied against those kingdoms in every captivity that we've been in before that kingdom was yanked down. Okay? Every prophet has spoken. All right?
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 49 and verse 1. "Listen, O isles, unto me, and hearken, ye people from far. The Lord hath called me from the womb, from the bowels of my mother, hath he made mention of my name."
God, that's going back to the same thing as Jeremiah 1:5. He called them from the bowels to speak to those nations. To prophesy against those nations for the evils that they've done to us. And once again to prophesy to the elect of Israel. That's what this is all about right now. Prophesying to the elect of Israel, and that's been happening through every generation. And hopefully this is the last one. We believe that this is the last one, the final captivity. Okay.
Right.
Because this is a revival of the Roman Empire. All right.
Just a quick comment. So right now, as what we've been reading, as far as the being ordained and sanctified to be a prophet to the nations, that means the highest office on earth right now is the ministry of the prophets. Starting our apostles and elder bishops, and the rest of like-minded men on down.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Who's preaching what? The 100% doctrine through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah. So just making mention that the highest office on earth is the people that you looked at with bathrobes and towels, and y'all want to mock and scoff, and he looked like this, he looked like that. Well, those are the men who are the future, leaders, of the upper echelon of the government underneath Yahweh by Shem Shah, in the kingdom to come.
Right. The future judges, man.
Yep.
It's gonna be judges in the nation, ain't it? So hey, I'll go with them now.
Exactly.
Back in the book of Isaiah 34:2, it says, for the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations.
And that indignation is his righteous anger, all right, upon all nations. All nations. That includes the nation of Israel, but that's the 2/3 of Israel. Okay, that righteous anger, all right.
And his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter.
So that's talking about the impending destruction that's coming. Okay, he has delivered them to the slaughter. Slaughter means to kill. He's coming back to wipe you out, take you off this earth. All right, that's part of that judgment. It's like the scriptures say, the judgment is under the sun. All right.
Zephaniah chapter 3 verse 8. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith Yahweh Shema Shah, until the day that I rise up to the prayer.
God, he said, wait ye upon me. And here again, we're not to avenge ourselves. Wait upon the Lord. Okay, he will fight for us. Right.
It says, for my determination is to gather the nations. Get that word, determination. So say, for my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger.
He said he's going to pour upon his indignation against all those kingdoms that put their hands on the nation of Israel. I was going to say, someone want to grab us 2 Maccabees 5:19.
Determination. Yep. Determination is a judicial decision settling or ending a controversy.
God.
Pretty much that's you got a synonym for that?
Yep, I'm going down to it now. It says decision, decisiveness, firmness, resolution, purposefulness, resolve,
that decision, that determination, resolve, that means there's a goal, okay, that has to be accomplished. All right?
And in regards to that determination in that scripture is it says mashapat. So that means what? Judgment. Right? Judgment, justice, and ordinance. You know, just don't let it go.
Done.
So yeah, that's so to finish it off. So this ultimately what? It's a part of the Lord's judgment.
Yep.
You know, right? Like I say, it's either you're gonna be on the right hand side of it to receive salvation, or on the left hand side to receive condemnation and ultimately destruction. Right? Because it say, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy.
All the earth, and that fires is the nuclear missiles, you know, those concentrated laser beams. All right? He's going to devour it, you know, with all of his jealousy because of what you did to us. All right? So, someone got that,
Yeah, I got the second Maccabees.
go ahead, read that for me real quick.
This is the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 5, and verse 19. Nevertheless, Yahweh did not choose the people for the place's sake, but the place for the people's sake.
So it's Israel is a people before it's a place. All right? And then there's the other one that, you know, there's, I think it's First Maccabees 10 and 10.
One nation hath
Yeah,
not order.
okay. Yep.
You get it real quick?
Yep.
It says, First Maccabees chapter 2, points to 10, I'm gonna start at 9. Her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity.
Con.
Her infants are slain in the streets. Her young men with the sword of the enemy. What nation hath not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils?
So it says, what nation have not had a part in the kingdom? That means all you nations have had a hand in our demise. Okay? Whether you did it directly or profited from it. Okay? You've had a hand in the current condition that the nation of Israel is in. All right?
Right. And none of y'all ever tried to stop or ease,
Yep.
do anything to do anything on our behalf to ease our calamities and the things that we've been going through. But the Lord said He is sore displeased with the heathen, for they have forwarded the affliction.
Con.
You know? So like I said, in regards to that, yeah, the Lord is displeased with you.
Yep.
And so you ain't did nothing to help us. Other scriptures say that y'all was happy that He has done it.
Con.
Y'all couldn't wait for us to be took it down so y'all could get our spoils of our vessels, ultimately to be over top of us and ultimately reap the benefits of the earth off the backs of the Israelites.
Con. What did it say in Baruch 4? He said, miserable are they that not only took us, but those who received us.
Right.
Okay? They're going to be miserable.
Yep. So guess what? All you nations, they think you took a hand in the right. You're guilty by association, man.
Yep.
All right, so you can be judged accordingly. Go ahead.
Just to back up, you know, what your brothers are saying, this is Obadiah 1 and 15. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen.
The day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. And notice it says the day of the Lord, it is his day. And as the scriptures say, whatever his pleasure is, it's going to be whatever he wants it to be. All right?
That's right.
As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thy own head.
Con, and what that does, you know, that goes into Deuteronomy 30 and 7. The curses that were upon the nation of Israel are now going to turn upon our enemies. Also, what's that? Colossians 3 and 25. You know, he that doeth wrong must receive the wrong which he has done. There's no respect of person. Okay, so you just can't, especially you, Esau. You don't think anything is going to happen. Okay, because of what you did. But you know, like the Lord said, you know, He reserved you for the day of destruction.
That's right.
You know, as the scriptures say, you know, that's the reason why you are not in trouble as other men, because He got you reserved for something special, the day of destruction, which is the Lord's day, the day of the Lord that the brother brought out. All right.
Back in Isaiah chapter 34 and verse 3, it says, their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood.
And those mountains go into the government. But He says their slain shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of the carcasses. But that means no burials.
Precept.
Nobody being shipped home. You know, you're going to be destroyed right where you stand. Okay? There is no cleanup, no shipping nobody's home. All right? No formal funerals like you see today. You know, you done, destroyed right where you stand. All right?
Jeremiah chapter 25, verse 31. It says, It says, a noise shall come even to the ends of the earth.
That's that nuclear destruction.
It say, also you can tie in the concentrated laser beams.
Concentrated laser beams, yep.
You know, like I said, it say, for the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai have a controversy with the nations.
You want to get that word controversy?
It say, he will plead with all flesh, right? I mean, judge. He will give them that are wicked to the sword, said Yahweh Shema Shai.
And that sword is that destruction. And it says he has a controversy with all nations. Okay, you got that?
Controversy. This is a decision marked especially by the expression of opinion, views, a dispute, a quarrel, strife, altercation, battle.
Battle. That's what he's gearing up for. Battle with the nations. All right.
Yes, we pretty much go to that dispute.
Yep.
The Lord has a bone to pick with you nations.
Yep.
You know what y'all did to the controversy of Israel, and also got a bone to pick with you 2/3.
Yep.
Because y'all come in and like stands of other nations, pretty much try to throw off or throw down this truth, to put it off, mock it, scoff it, destroy it. So all y'all have to pay for the things y'all have done. You know, because the scriptures say that all must appear before the judge seat, how shall have Mashiach, and whether they have done whether good or evil. You know, roughly paraphrasing. So you're gonna all have to pay. It's a judgment.
Because what? Because like I say, 2/3 is helping forward in it too. They love living in this wickedness. They want to keep our people down just as much as the so-called Esau, even the so-called white man, and the rest of these nations, man. They're joining hand in hand with them.
Verse 32. Thus saith Yahweh Shema Shai of hosts, behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation, and a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. Right? So, like I said, evil shall go forth from nation to nation. So, evil meaning what? Eve meaning time, ill meaning bad.
Right.
So, bad times is going to go from nation to nation to nation to nation. Right? Real quick, brother can get Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 5. Right? Go ahead, brother.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 7 and verse 5. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, and evil, only evil, behold, is come.
Right. So all the people who's hoping for a change, hoping to pray, you know, doing whatever it is you can to bring peace and happiness and harmony to the world. Well, it's not going to happen. It's not a part of the plans of Yahweh Shema Shai. His plans is to continue to, bring evil and evil and evil for what? For the wickedness that have exceedingly polluted the whole earth. And their hurtful works are fulfilled. So the wages that you are going to receive from your wickedness and all the things that you do is going to be evil, bad times, death, and destruction. That's what's going to come up the times that we are coming into.
I would say, if I may add to your point, that's also a message for you Christians out there. When that day of the Lord comes, it's not going to be one glad day. It's not going to be a joyful day when he returns. He's telling you it's going to be evil the whole time. All right?
It says, an end is come. The end is come. And watch it for thee. Behold, it is come.
Right, so it's evident, it is manifest that we are in the latter time. All these prophecies, these end-time prophecies come to pass, whether it be nations against nations, kingdom against kingdoms, earthquakes, pestilences, uproars of the people, like the earthquake in diverse places. These, what they call these so-called natural disasters, all these things coming around, just everything what the scriptures is talking about, right? Measure down the time diligently. We seeing all these things come to pass, and we tie them into the scriptures, and it's showing that it is evident that we are in those end times. We're in those latter times. Yeah. We are in the time of the visitation of Yahweh Shema Shai. Right. The salvation is right at the door. The death and destruction is right at the door. We just constantly, patiently waiting for that day to come to pass. Sure. If you can, if you may, Dr. Shah, jump to the verse 25. Verse 25.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 7 and verse 25. Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none.
So your people, y'all seeking for peace and peace and peace, and like I said, you just want peace, you just want comfort, but guess what? It say destruction coming. And what you longing for as far as that peace is not going to come to pass.
Nope.
Only death and destruction is coming to this place. The evil has been sown here, and therefore those works, the hurtful works have been fulfilled. So for those evil and wickedness that have been sown here, the judgment got to come, which is death and destruction, with the thermonuclear warheads the concentrated laser beams to cleanse this place with fire.
Con.
Right.
That's the only way that this place can receive peace, is that this place has to be thrown down first. Then those who are going to be restored and put in the power seat are going to be the Israelites, start with, from Yahweh Shai on down. That's when peace going to come into the world. But until that time, with these devils in power, all the mournings, all these said plagues, all the pains, the travail, the beginning of sorrows, is going to continue to compass this place and overtake it and pursue this place with evil. That's the only thing that's going to come.
Go ahead, David. Got one more for you. It's 1 Thessalonians 5:3. It says, when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape.
Right. So that's what's been going on. Your people, you're longing for your government. Y'all just be sitting glued to the TV. What they gonna say? What they gonna do? So they can make you feel good, right? But then when they talk about peace and safety, what happens? Sudden destruction. When they put their peace plans and we're gonna put money to this and put money to that to stop this. But guess what? Even more dire and perilous times come after that. Right? They say, it's like I said, what the A part say, bro?
They shall not escape.
They shall not escape. So you gonna be in the midst of this. You're gonna be amidst the turmoil, the plagues, the defamation, the destruction of the entire world. You're not gonna be able to escape this.
Right.
So if you're allotted for death and destruction, or die by famine or pestilence, whatever the case may be, you're gonna die by that. But we know that the hopeful elect, the elect of the nation of Israel, they're gonna receive salvation through it. And if some who may not have to die for the testimony of Yahweh Shema Shai, that's a great honor, and they're gonna be risen up first when the visitation comes, when the salvation comes. So it's an honor to die for Yahweh Shema Shai. There's no honor dying from being a warlock selling drugs.
Right.
Being a Ishi, whatever they want to call themselves, dying for that cause. That ain't no honor in that.
Nope.
Well, the honor is to die for Yahweh Shema Shai. Because he's doing all these things for us. Also for his son, only begotten son as well too, for what they did to him. All these things are happening, all the death and destruction is coming for what? Like we read, for the controversy of Zion. There's a bone to pick with you nations.
That's right.
Like that.
I was just.
Okay, yeah. And now my last war, y'all hold y'all. It's a Jeremiah 25 verse 33. Going back to that Isaiah, the carcasses to be cast out. Jeremiah 25 verse 33. And the slain of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai shall be at that day. Right, this is one day, ain't no pre-tribulation, 7 years. And that day, from one end of the earth, even to the other end of the earth, they shall not be lamented. Ain't nobody gonna be crying for you, feeling bad for you. Neither gathered nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground. So we know that great day of destruction is coming, man. It's gonna, like it says, it's gonna be slain from one end of the earth, from the east end of the earth, from like China on the far east, all the way over to the hindermost, the utmost part of the earth, which is over here in the west. The slain of the Lord, like it says, shall be many.
I got that.
Go ahead, bro.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 66 and verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind.
Right, so the Lord said he's going to come with fire and with his chariots. We don't understand what that fire is from the thermonuclear warheads, and also, like I said, the concentrated laser beams from the chariots. That's the fire that he commanded. He said with the chariots, which what y'all call UFOs or UAPs, right? We don't know what they are. They're unidentified, but the men of the Lord, like the brother said earlier, surely the Lord power do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets to the servants of prophets. We can tell you those are the chariots of Israel.
Sorry.
Go ahead, bro.
It says to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire.
So it don't sound like how y'all say that our Lord Jesus Christ, they're gonna come down and his arms out, sun shining, sun rays behind him, birds and shit flying over here, candy and stuff, lollipops, green pops.
Right.
None of that's gonna happen.
Right,
Naked babies and stuff. Come as you are, come everybody. You just say Jesus Christ, I'm gonna bring you up. That's not written in the scripture.
Nope.
That day that's gonna come is gonna be a day of darkness, of gloominess, of clouds, of desolation, of distress. Right? Brother Scott, you read that?
There's no light in it.
Yeah.
No light in
I
it.
was just thinking that Amos 5:18 and 19 too. Yeah.
Verse 16 says, for by fire and by his sword.
Which we spoke about, by his fire, and then by his sword, hopes to be what? A sword is what? A killing instrument. So just simple tying it all together, man, death and destruction is coming from Yahweh Shema Shai. Go ahead, bro.
Will the Lord plead with all flesh?
He's not gonna plead with you, beg with you, please stop doing this, this, and that. That word plead go back to Mashapah, which means to judge you. Go ahead, bro.
And the slain of the Lord shall be many.
That don't sound like somebody that was begging you to stop doing what you're doing. Please stop doing it. No, I'm about to come plead. I'm about to come judge you. I'm about to deliver you to the slaughter. I'm gonna kill you, destroy you. Right? Because the indignation of Yahweh Shemashai, y'all have angered him. And they say he's gonna burn you with the righteous, with that jealousy of the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Righteous anger. That's what's coming to the people. So y'all thinking it's gonna come a certain way, but no, like I said, it said that day is not light.
Nope.
That day is full of darkness.
Hey, real quick, and why do we call it righteous anger? Because the Most High he does everything justly.
Yep.
All right. So you've earned that. All right. He's not just doing it for no reason.
Exactly.
Con. You said
You
it
know,
goes-
and I got one. You got a definition?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Just in the back him up, he's already mentioned it. Is slain. It says to kill violently,
See?
wantonly.
Where's the love in that?
Right. Right. Yeah, I'm not gonna go out back and shoot old Yeller. Nah, violently. Remember, death by pain.
Yeah.
You know? Second Ezra.
He gonna say, you know what? Go to sleep and then I'm gonna kill you in your sleep. No,
Right.
it ain't gonna be no peaceful death. Like brother said, it's gonna be death by pain.
That's right.
People melting every damn where,
Yep.
starving to death,
Yep.
eating each other, pestilences eating them up there. You're gonna die by a painful death, a gruesome
right.
death.
Con.
Or in great numbers.
Mm.
Right. So, like I said, a great number. Like I said, the scripture say it, the beginning of great death
Mhm.
is coming. So it's going, like I
I
said,
got that too, man. Let me just get right into it. And this Second Ezra 16, starting at verse 18. It says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death,
Mm.
the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginnings of evils. What should I do when these evils shall come?
right. And then you people go say, oh, well, that don't sound like my Jesus or my God because you serving the idol.
Yep.
Right.
That don't exist. That's why I don't. We serve the living power. Who he said he formed the light and create darkness.
Ah.
He make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things.
That's
So like you said, the beginning of sorrows, of great death, of war, of famines. You know, saying all these things are part of the plan of Yahweh Shemel Shai. It ain't say maybe I may do this or not. No, this is the beginning of that. Because the previous verse say, what? Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days?
Right.
From a man of the Lord seeing the catastrophic destruction that was coming to this place.
Yep.
That Yahweh Shemel Shai showed him in those visions. He seen a lot of death and destruction. He was like, damn, what's going to happen with me? Am I going to be saved? And we know through the Spirit, you know, that the elect going to be saved, right? But also it said what? And the power shall stand in great fear, right? Even the elites are trembling because they know that day is approaching.
Yep.
So if you know that the elites, their upper echelon of their power structure is in pains and in straits, you know, saying weird in their most of their councils, how much more the people underneath them? They lesser luminaries,
Right.
the governors, the presidents, the prime ministers, the this and that, and then not only that, drop it down to the people.
Right.
Everybody gonna be afraid.
Right, because what? They're looking for the counsel from these top people, and they shivering in their boots, quote unquote. You know what I mean?
So it's gonna be a time of, hey, like I said, like hey, going to Jacob's trouble, a time like never before.
Right.
Right. It's gonna be a time that has never been as bad up into history, up to date. All the time periods of the past, it's not gonna equivalent or amount up to the perilous times that's coming that we're gonna be entering to, be as Jacob's trouble. But Lord willing, we be of the Lord's, Lord willing, we be of the elect so that we may be preserved through that time period. That's why we do the things we do and present our bodies as a living sacrifice, not only out here on the camera, but also in our everyday life.
That's right.
Each and every day. We ain't a Jew outwardly, just when we come out here. No, we a Jew
Yeah,
inwardly,
that's right.
all
That's
the
right.
time.
That's right.
Con.
Examine ourselves each and every day,
Right.
doing what's commanded of us, so that we, like to say, give diligence to make our calling and election sure.
That's right.
We don't know if we're the elect, but we gonna put in that effort to be as that.
And what does it say? Put on the elect.
Exactly.
All right, so we gotta be after the mind frame and the ways of the elect. All right.
Right.
We should be checking off a certain list of attributes. All right, to know where we stand.
Walking in that
Examine
spirit.
yourself. Yep.
Walking in that
That's
spirit.
right. That's right. And then to get back to this Isaiah 34, jumping down to verse 22, this is 2nd Ezra 16 and 22. It says, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy.
So if you know about famine, well, that's supposed to be going to what the scarcity of harvest.
That's right.
But they don't necessarily gotta mean just of food. If you have a scarcity of anything, there's a shortage of whatever that case may be.
Yep.
Whether it be gas, diesel, whether it be water, anything. That's a famine of that. It's a scarcity of it.
Right.
It ain't as plentiful as it once was or what it used to be. There's a shortage in it. So anything in regards to that, it's a famine in that. And that's why I said, so the famine, they say what? That these people, what? They're going to starve to death. And the scriptures say that they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger.
That's right.
So, but they say, but if you escape that famine, so if you just so happen to escape it, because a lot of you may escape it from what? Cannibalism.
Yep.
Eating other people, eating your children.
Yep.
Eating your damn, the side of your couch. Whatever the hell you may have, you may escape it somehow, but guess what? Death gonna come get you.
Yep.
So that's why I say it's a, it's a fearful thing to fall in the hands of living power. Right? They say, I gotta say this. Deuteronomy 32 and 39. See now that even I am he, and there is no God with me. I kill, I make alive. I wound, and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand.
That's right.
So there's nothing that anybody can do, none of your false gods, none of your seances, none of your witchcraft, warlock, whatever the hell it is that you do, that's not going to be delivering you. If the Lord pull your name, so to speak, out of that hat, or whatever, for judgment, whatever the case may be, because it's not random. Everybody has a set judgment, or those of the elect, they're going to have a set salvation.
Yep.
But whatever you fall upon as far as those who are going to receive judgment, it's going to happen in its perfection. He's going to come get you in a direct day, hour, second, millisecond, month, whether the season, whatever the case may be, the Lord going to get you on that day.
That's right.
Nothing you can do to be delivered out of his hand.
That's right. And then another, just to add one more little point too. How else are these people about to escape from hunger? They gonna bow down and take that potato chip.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That people gonna escape by that. They're gonna think they escape, but guess what? They still gonna be caught in the hands of the Lord and what? Be put to death. Man.
Yep.
If I may repeat, we in those times, all right? That I put there's various cities all over the states right now that are out of food, man. Completely out of food. Okay, so we in those times that the brother is talking about right now. We're in those times. New York. They say New York is out of food, and other places as well, man. So hey, we in those times that the brothers is talking about, man.
That's right. That's right. And then last verse. This is 2 Ezra 16 and 23, and it says, "And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. For the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down."
Yep. It's going to be, the cast out as dung, no burials, no one to comfort them. They're just destroyed, dead. The city's cast down, utterly destroyed. All right.
Yep. Hey, backing up Isaiah 34 and 3. So we go to verse 4 now.
So it's Isaiah 34 and 4. It says, "And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. And all their hosts shall fall down as a leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from a fig tree."
It says once again, it says that if you roll together as a scroll, that's that mushroom cloud, a huge mushroom cloud going all over the face of the earth when one of those nukes are hit. Okay, and he said it's going to fall down as a leaf falling from a vine. If you ever seen a leaf falling down from a vine, it's falling and twisting, out of control, until it hits and boom, and that's it.
Hey, that leaf isn't rising back up and re-putting itself on there. No.
Nope, same as a fig, Yep.
Yep.
I got this is Revelation chapter 6, verse 12. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake. And why this great earthquake comes? Because why? For those thermonuclear, all those missiles pelting the earth. Like you say, the earth shall reel to and fro like a
I got that. Hey, we want to bring it out? Now, this is Isaiah 24 and verse 19. It says, "The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again."
Right, because the scriptures say that it's going to be 200 million, warheads shot simultaneously, throughout the whole entire earth. So just imagine 200 million, those warheads just pelting the earth. Boom, 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 boom.
It's going to look like the stars are falling.
Right. But that's spirit. That's what it goes
God,
so just imagine that, right? It say, "And the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood." Ultimately symbolizing that death and destruction, and the fire spewing up and the smoke spewing up from those thermonuclear warheads hitting.
That's
right. It say, "And the stars of heaven fell into the earth, even as a fig tree cast her untimely figs," like we was talking about. When they flying up in the air, they're gonna be, with the exhaust system, they look like they glitter. You know what I'm saying? That's how they're gonna look, like stars. But these stars will come down, they're gonna hit your ass. You're not gonna be stationary,
That's right.
in the
Right.
sky.
You're gonna be seeing stars.
Right. It say, so that's why it's compared it to what? As figs falling off a tree.
That's right.
Right? Because it say, even as a fig tree casts her untimely figs, where she is shaken of a mighty wind, and we understand going to what? Jeremiah 51 verse 1, he gonna send what? Through those thermonuclear warheads, a destroying wind.
Hey, no, it said untimely, right? Because remember, the fig tree didn't know that wind was about to come through and knock all of it down prematurely.
Exactly.
Just like this kingdom, it's gonna be taken like a thief in the night, man. When you least expect it, this
Right.
place is gonna be rocked.
Exactly. It's a, that's right. In for Brother Ken, Jeremiah 51 verse 1, real quick.
Oh,
You got
the
it? Spirit.
Jeremiah 51:1. Thus said the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind.
Right, so real quick, like I said, it can raise up against Babylon and also them that are against you, which you ultimately everybody's against you. How about you, besides the elected this time, the nation of Israel. So everybody the Lord got a bone to pick with everybody. So of course, the main destruction of other desolation will come to who? Babylon the Great, aka America. But not only America gonna be hit, also our homeland, the land of Israel, right? The land of Canaan, Palestine, whatever you want to call it. That's gonna be utterly destroyed as well. But it's gonna be rebuilt back up because that's gonna be the headquarters of the Israelites. To rule from even here on Earth, the cosmos, different universes, whatever the case may be. That's just going to be the hub, the headquarters, if you will, of the nation of Israel. You start with Yahweh Shai, and the rest of the order on down, right? But then, like I said, so the main two places to be utterly destroyed is going to be America, Babylon the Great, and then Israel, but Israel going to be built back up. Babylon the Great will not be rebuilt back up.
That's right.
Well, we'll get into that.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Jeremiah 51:2 says, and will send unto Babylon.
Read verse 1. It's like that.
Jeremiah 51:1. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind.
Right, so that's how we name that destroying wind. That's why I said in here, when she is taken of a mighty wind.
Right.
So, of course, destroying wind, hey, if you go look at thermonuclear, shoot from, horizontal in some videos that structures, buildings, trees. Damn. Yeah, so back in Revelation 6:14, because we established, I'll read 6. And the stars of heaven fell into the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs. Right, how the brother brought out is going to catch you unaware, it's going to catch you off guard. Right? When she is taken of a mighty wind. And we established from Jeremiah 51 that mighty wind is that destroying wind that's going to come from the thermonuclear warheads from those missiles. Right? It say, verse 14, and the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain of island removed out of their places. Now this happens because of a great impact. It's like the previous scripture said what? And there was a great earthquake, and we went to Israel to and from like a drunkard because 200 million thermonuclear warheads is going to be pelting the earth. Right? So it's saying the heaven departed as a scroll, right? Which is seen up in the sky. And we see, like, if you think of like an old scroll, you got the scroll how they together and then they unroll. Just like when you see a nuclear explosion, give you an image, give you an image of it, but that's what's talking about back in Isaiah 34, the heaven rolling together as a scroll. Those ancient scrolls used to roll up together and they'd be all bunched up, and it's, it comes in like a scroll like that. You got it?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
So right, so like I said, like, see how that's round like a scroll rolling together, like these are like scrolls rolling together. It's maybe like this one right here. That's gonna be what's gonna be seen from the thermonuclear that impacted the structure for the thermonuclear warheads. It's right, just to give you an idea of why how I compare contrast things to a scroll. Because just remember during the time of this chapter 6, verse 14, and the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, which we show an example of the image on the poster. And it says, when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island removed out of their places, because, like I said, that great the pelting of those thermonuclear missiles, right, those warheads, like I said, it's going to cause that great earthquake. That it will continue to be hitting, rocking the earth, right? And the mountains and the islands removed out of their places. It says, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains and the mighty men and every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and the rocks of the mountains. Because you can tie all these people together when they're going to go into the retreats. You know, into like, I think they call it Ozark Mountains. They actually have a bunker that's people dead on the inside of it that can house up to 1 million people. Then we got all these underground cities, all these underground places where all these people, those kings of the earth, so on, they're going to hide themselves in there. Right? Because they know, and it's the reason why they build it, because they know that thermonuclear warheads are going to be shot via through World War III. Right? So they know this is going to happen. That's why they have these retreats. You know, even they got them underwater. They also got like the International Space Stations, also they go out of space. I remember not too long ago was China talking about creating a hotel out of space. They go up there. So, well, like pertaining to this scripture right here, they said those mountains, you know, like I said, those retreats. That's where all they're going to go. And it said to the rocks, the mountains and the rocks, fall on us. Why? And hide us from the face of him that sat on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. Because why they want to be hidden in the day of destruction. They want to be hidden, they want to be protected when destruction comes. But what little do they know is they're going to be preserved for sure. Because they got to be the first rounds of slaves.
That's right.
So you was already going to be preserved to be those first round servants or slaves to the Israelites.
That's right.
You know?
Hey, that first round draft pick.
Right, like I said, y'all can be the first round draft picks. Just like we strive to be the first round draft picks of the elect to receive salvation, to be beamed up when the destruction comes. So like you say, like the people are Friday, right? We're gonna be us. We're gonna be up there in the ozone layer looking down at all those missiles, helping, you know, seeing the rocks, you know, those islands and everything being moved out of this place. Hills and mountains destroyed, going to with the peoples and their governments. We're gonna be witnessing all those things, Lord, will be of that number.
All right, Psalms 21.
Exactly.
Jeremiah 16. Behold, I will send for many fishers, said the Lord, and they shall fish them.
All right. Okay, except for the fishers, as the prophets, you know, going out with the elect, you know, leading the elect of Israel on this side, right?
It says, and they shall fish them. It says, after I will send many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain, from every hill, and out of the holes of the rocks.
So those hunters, that's where they get that spiritual power, the Bibles, going in and taking out those first fruits of slavery. Okay?
Only God.
That's right.
Like I was saying, that's why y'all gonna be in those mountains and the rocks, hide from us, you know, trying to hide from that destruction. But you're gonna be here from that because, like we said, you're gonna be the first rounds of slaves.
Yep.
That's what you're gonna be preserved for. You know, like I said, a lot of people, like I said, slain the Lord shall be many. So yes, a lot of people gonna die. There's also gonna be a number of people who are gonna be, you know, salvaged or saved to be servants. Just like we know the elect of Israel, they're gonna be, you know, saved to, you know, receive that glory. They're gonna be in that first resurrection. They're gonna have the taste of that second death, which is gonna be the lake of fire, which supposedly gonna consume all of Babylon the Great. But ultimately in the ground, that's where you get put within your grave.
Right. That's why that's that false Christian doctrine.
Who was right there? Let's dig to hell, y'all. You know, who was something? Right. You know, so let's understand that Christian doctrine. They understand they're just deceiving the people.
Yep.
Right? They say, go ahead, bro.
Thence shall mine hand take them, though they climb up to heaven.
Right.
Then,
so in those space stations and wrath is come, right? It say for the great day of his wrath. Again, like I said, the day of darkness, the day of clouds, gloominess. It say what? And who shall be able to stand in this great day? And we understand that nobody gonna be able to stand beside the elect. Because he's gonna put the spirit in them to be able to stand that, to withstand it. Ultimately, he's gonna be the strong tower, their covering. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be, like I said, their refuge in that day of the wrath, their destruction. You know, so that's gonna be the abide that day. The Lord has chosen to receive salvation of the elect of Israel, not of the body of believers, as some people speak about. All these nations come together and just we all believe in Jesus. Now you part of the body of believers. No, that's not gonna happen. Only true worshipers of Yahweh Shemashai are Israelites. Right? By flesh, by sperma, by whatever case you want to call it, by the seed line that come from Jacob through those 12 tribes.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 35, beginning in verse 10, and it reads, And Yahweh said unto him, Thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name, and he shall call his name Israel. Verse 11, And Yahweh said unto him, I am Yahweh Almighty, be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and the king shall come out of thy loins. Okay, and out of that loins is out of the seed line, just like the brother said. No such thing as no spiritual. Right? I don't care what you believe, unless you are from the nation of Israel. There's no salvation for you. In everlasting salvation. All right, as we were saying earlier, yeah, you're going to be reserved to be servants and handmaids, not have everlasting salvation, not have the body. All right.
Shall be bathed in heaven.
It's a sword, as the brother brought out earlier. Swords is an instrument of death, an instrument of destruction. What's that's going to be? It's going to be those nuclear missiles and also the concentrated laser beams. Jerome 2 says, his camp is very great. Okay? And it's talking about all those nuclear missiles. Okay?
Well, it says it shall come down upon Edom and upon the people of my curse. Isaiah 34:5. It says, For my sword shall be bathed in heaven, behold, it shall come down upon Edom. Come down upon Idumeum and upon the people of my curse to judgment.
Yeah, Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom. Okay, he's still talking about Edom, and they are his piece of people of the curse of his judgment. Because it says the wicked, and we know Esau, Edom is the wicked according to Malachi 1:4. Job says that the wicked are reserved to the day of destruction, and the day of wrath they shall be brought forth. All right. You got that? Okay.
It's Job chapter 21. Let me see.
30, I think. 30?
Yeah, it's 30, but I'm gonna just start at 28. For ye say, where is the house of the prince? And where are the dwelling places of the wicked? Right? If you understand that the dwelling places is what? Pretty much the fatness of the earth. All the best and all the good places. That's their dwelling place. Ultimately, the dwelling place is the earth in itself, because the earth was given to the head of the wicked.
God.
So they say, have ye not asked them that go by the way and do yet not know their tokens, right? Ask you, what's going to really come to pass? What's going to happen to them in the last time? Right? You understand the tokens are ultimately going to what? The prophecies of what's going to come to pass. They say what? That the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction. They shall be brought forth to the day of wrath.
God, so it says reserved until the day of destruction. As the scriptures say, he is not in trouble as other men. That is because he's being reserved for the day of destruction. And the day of wrath, he shall be brought forth to be destroyed, just like he said in this day. He said that they are upon the people of my curse to judgment. All right. So he's saving you for last, son. And we see it, and you know it.
Verse number 1. Who shall declare his way to his face?
The prophets.
That's right. And who shall repay him what he hath done?
Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, ultimately, like you said, he's going to do it by the hand of his people. All right?
I say,
Nation of Israel.
last point, say, verse. Yet shall he be brought to the grave and shall remain in the tomb.
You picture that, you know?
Yeah. Brought to the grave and remain in the tomb. You will never rise again.
That's right.
It says to Isaiah 14, I believe is 22. You got it? Okay.
For Isaiah 14:22 says,
20 start at 21.
Isaiah 14:21 says, prepare slaughter for his children.
Prepare slaughter for his children. So you Edomites are saying out there, I didn't have nothing to do with that. That was my ancestors. Well, you know, you are your ancestors. That's another lesson. All right.
For the iniquity of their fathers.
And that's that iniquity of the father. That's that sin on top of sin on top of sin. As the scriptures said, you know, for Edom, for 3 transgressions or 4, you just kept doing sin. All right.
That they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
You will never be in rulership again. You will never build again. All right.
Verse 22 it says, for I will rise up against them, said the Lord.
This is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh saying he's going to rise up against the nation of Esau, Edom.
And cut off Babylon, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and son and nephew, said the Lord.
He says the name, remnant, son, and nephew. That's all. Those are all males. You know, males have the seed. Okay, that's the seed line. He's cutting off the seed line. Remnant, nephew, son. You know, he's cutting it all off. That way you will never reproduce again. All right.
It's about the seed of the father.
God. Yep. Numbers 1:18. God. Okay. Let's get that.
Back in Isaiah 34, 6, it says, the sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with the fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord have a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea.
God, and what all those animals and their parts are talking about is a great sacrifice. Okay, so that's being compared to the people. And the people he's talking about are the 2/3 of Israel and all the other wicked nations, all right? And he says, for a sacrifice in Basra. We know that Basra was the chief city of Edom, all right? And it says a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. So that means wherever Edom is ruling, you know, that's where the slaughters are. It's mainly in Babylon. Okay? That's what he's talking about, Babylon. Here again, they, the chief city back then, Basra, this is considered Basra today.
Add to your point as well. Like you're saying, like how we always say about us, Israel is a people before it's a place.
God.
Just like Edom, they are a people before they are a place. So like he was saying, wherever Edom dwells, wherever they rule from, wherever they pitch their tent, so to speak, wherever they get, that's Edom, that's Basra, that's Mount Seir. And also the other point that spiritual nicknames that be given to them. But like I said, that's like what I'm saying, it's like just like Babylon itself. We always say this is a great altar, you know, given up to Yahweh Bashem Shai to burn. With those thermonuclear warheads and those concentrated laser beams. This place is prepared as an altar.
Yep.
Right? That's why the scripture say, man, shit, if you don't want to take part in the devastation that's going to come to Babylon, now you got judgment that's going to come to you, whether you leave or not, hey, that's going to happen to you. But at the end of the day, you over here in Babylon the Great, we can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, we can tell you as a matter of fact, 100%, this whole entire land will be obliterated. Will be annihilated. Will be brought to desolation, destituteness. It'll be a mass and great, I say grave, but ultimately a desert.
Yep.
Hey, the slaughter, as we know, in the livestock, but it also goes into killing killing of great numbers of human beings, as in battle or massacred carnage.
Going back to saying livestock, that's why that comparison is to the lambs and the bullocks, and what's coming up. So he's comparing that to people.
Right.
All right.
Because what the rams done did to the Lord.
Yep.
Well, the bullocks and the the lamb, what they do.
Right.
Right. As far as being in their natural order, what they supposed to do as animals.
Yep.
They ain't transgressed the laws you have about Shemashai. It wasn't given unto them.
All right.
Right. So like the brother said, it's comparing to you how it's going to be done as a slaughter. The death that's going to be coming to these people. And like you said, not only to those people, first off, you know, as a whole first. But also, like you said, to these other nations, as we started at the top, the prophet to these other nations, but also you 2/3, you niggas, who want to uphold the standard of Babylon the Great. Y'all are grouped up in those same sacrifices. So death and destruction in the great fashion is going to come to this place. We just know that this talking about that final judgment when those missiles get shot off and those laser beams, you know, when the angels, when Yahweh and the holy angels pull up with those concentrated laser beams. But this is, again, I gotta say, this is a great altar to Yahweh Shemashai to be burnt.
Right. Wow.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 63, beginning at verse 1. Who is this that cometh from Edom, with dyed garments from Boston? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 63, beginning at verse 1. Who is this that cometh from Edom, with dyed garments from Boston?
Actually, who is this that's coming from Edom? Now, some people think that Edomites all the other way. But this prophecy that hasn't came to pass yet. That's right. Which proves that what? Esau's still here. Yep. 2 Ezra 69 says, for Esau's the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of the fall. Meaning what? Esau Edom is ruling right now.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So they say who is this that coming? This is talking about our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. They say who is this that coming from Edom? So he got a personal bone to pick with the Edomites. Because if you remember freshly, you know, was they not the ones who deliver them up? You know, yeah, our people deliver them up, but who carried out the act of the crucifixion? Right. Those Romans at the time were what? Edomites. That's why I speak about Revelation 1:7. You know, that matter of fact, real quick here. You might get that Revelation 1:7. Just to prove the point.
When I look at that, I'm going to add is that, you know, once again, you know who's in rulership, whose face is on the money.
Yep.
All right? And whose face is on the money here in Babylon the Great? Money and coins.
Oh.
So they're not done away with.
Also, who you can't talk about.
Yep.
You know, who you can't speak about. I also tell you about, you know, who's the one that are in power and who's in rulership. You say something about it and they take your shit off the air. You know, you got that book?
Revelation.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 7. It says, behold, he cometh with clouds.
Right, those clouds gonna be those chariots with the rest of the holy angels. He come on a great cloud himself as well.
And every eye shall see him.
Right? All eyes shall see the return of our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Right?
And they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him.
Right. So say they also will pierce him. You know, ain't no damn skeletons walking around. Oh, there you go. He came back for it. No. This is talking about reincarnation. Spirits being regenerated here on earth. You know, say all of our spirits are ancient. That's why even when like a child died at a young age who wasn't pretty much of the age to fall to be held for the law to pretty much be held against them, right? They died for what they did in their past life. Or they could also die for what their parents did or so forth and so on. But at the end of the day, all spirits are ancient. So those Satirians who did what they did, they back here right now. Right? Because at that time, who was in power? The Romans, the Edomites. Yep. This is the revision of the Roman Empire. That's right. And guess who's back in power under that? The Edomites. Right? They say, okay, what's up? They then, finish the rest of that.
Yeah, it says, even so Aman.
When they come out well.
Oh, come. It says, let me read from the top again. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 7. It says, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him.
Right. So why, if it's going to be a peaceful and glad time and peace and harmony, why are people going to be wailing? You know, because we go to the term wail, it means to lament, to cry aloud, to groan, to be in anguish. why are the people doing this if everybody can be accepted, everybody can be grafted in to receive salvation? Because he coming to judge, he do judge and make war. Revelation 19 speaks about it. He's coming to bring great death to this place, right? Of course, he's going to be coming with the salvation of the elect, but the rest of the world is going to see his vengeance.
Yep. Remember, Yahweh Shai, he's coming back with a sword, not to bring peace on earth. That's right.
That's why right now the division amongst the people. Yep. That would say he definitely gonna come back, and he also in other scriptures talk about what? He got like a scythe, he a reaper. Yep. He gonna reap the earth, and reap the earth. That means what? When you go out to agricultural and you reap down like wheat and stuff like that, what you do? You cut it down. Yep. With a sharp instrument. So like I said, like that sword as well, that's what he coming with. Yep. He ain't coming out, like I said, he ain't coming with his hands out, he coming with a sword. He coming for war, he coming for a battle. He coming to conquer these nations.
Cause division.
Definition. It's Zondervan Bible Dictionary. It's going to read about just Edom. It's just going back when you said them being here in the last days. It says Edom figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as the scene of great future judgment. She is the only neighbor of the Israelites who was not given any promise of mercy from Yahweh.
So like we say, you got to hold like Yale in regards to the nations, that you're not an Edomite. Because you're not going to receive mercy from Yahweh. At the end of the bill, we give you a quick overlay. What's going to happen is you'll be destroyed on this side, right? We know the least of them are going to be preserved for slavery. But y'all going to be the average six-pack Joe and the lesser Lucas. Y'all going to be preserved for slavery too, because why? You're going to come through those loins of the elites, of your people who have not died yet. You're going to be born back to slavery. Hey, just like our people when we got on them ships. Some of them jump overboard into the sharks and this and that, and they thought they was gonna escape slavery. No, guess what? Through reincarnation, they was born back into captivity. No, none of us was able to escape that, just like none of y'all gonna be able to escape that. So the time period to come, like you're saying, man, Esau Edom was gonna be death, slavery, and then the complete annihilation, the desolation to your whole seed line, to y'all as a people. You'll be obliterated and wiped off the face of the earth, like we read earlier. You're gonna die, and you're gonna remain in your tomb and not come out.
Figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as the scene of great future judgment.
Great future judgment.
And I just rolled off some of those great future judgments. Yep. As we all been coming up with the precepts of some of those great future judgments from the word and spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai, not from men. Right. That he uses men, but we didn't come with these revelations on our own. Nope. No, this is the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai. This is his movie. This is a part of his he's a director. He's a producer. So this is what's going to happen in his movie. We just part of the cast. The Lord will be part of the cast to be in the hopeful elect, to be his men, to receive salvation.
This is what all of the Lord's pleasure, like in Isaiah 46.
She is the only neighbor of the Israelites who was not given any promise of mercy from Yahweh.
No promise of mercy. And James 2:13 says, for he shall have judgment without mercy that have showed no mercy. Okay? And mercy rejoiceth against judgment. So pretty much saying, when he's going to be judging you, he's going to be happy doing it. Okay? Very happy doing it. Because you have not shown any mercy. From the time that the blessings were given out, Amos 1:11 says your hatred was perpetual, along with Ezekiel 35. You got it? Okay, go ahead.
Back in brother Ezekiel 35, verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred.
Perpetual, that means continual, non-stop.
Yep.
Okay, we're seeing that to this day. All the way from the time that the blessings were given out in Genesis 27 to this very day as we stand here right now.
Right. Or even going back to the garden.
Yeah.
See the hatred between your forefather Cain against Abel. Yep. So just add to the brother's point, even going all the way back to then, that same perpetual, everlasting hatred is still manifesting and it seems evident unto this day. It says, it has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword.
We know that was him, because he was given the blessing of the sword. Okay.
It says, in the time of their calamity, in the time of their iniquity had an end.
So he never stopped. Show him no mercy.
Say, therefore, as I live, said Yahweh Bashim Shai power.
He said, therefore, as I live, we know that he lives forever. You know, he's called the Ancient of Days. Okay, no beginning, no end. All right.
Say, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
He said, I will pursue thee. You can't run. You can't hide. You can't stop anywhere. That blood is going to pursue you and is going to accomplish what you believe. He said he will prepare you unto believe. Okay? That means it's going to happen. Okay? By any method he determines, you know, which is it's going to be nuclear fire, concentrated laser beam, and any other judgment he has coming at this time. All right?
Yeah, it won't be accident. Prepare for this. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's Isaiah chapter 63, verse 1, back at the top. Who was this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength.
Right? And you're going to come back and raise some strength in what? Share. It's like how Ezra said that he's like in a big mountain kind of whatever region. Look, damn, this huge chariot. Yeah, he's trying to look for a mountain that was out. Like, damn, you know. But like you said, glorious apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. So,
It says, I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save.
right, and we know his name is Yahushua. Meaning he saves, he delivers. Right? No.
Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in a wine
Right,
press?
so this is compared to like Brother Noah, how they tread in the wine fat, what they step on those grapes, right? Step on the grapes, step on the grape, all the juices splattered up and down. That's why I said, why are they all red? Now we know he ain't gonna get especially he ain't gonna get no blood on his garments, especially no heathen blood. Now he ain't gonna get no blood on his garments. But this is just symbolic to telling you of the bloodshed that's gonna come via his visitation, via his return. The second coming of Yahushua HaMashiach. All right, that's why they're gonna be red, similar in that blood, death, and destruction. All right. Go ahead, bro.
It says, I have trodden the wine press alone, and the people there was none with me. For I would tread them in mine anger.
So hold on, he coming back in his anger to tread you. Which it don't sound like nothing peaceful. Don't sound like harmony and love. He said he coming in his anger. Right? Go ahead, bro.
It says, and trample them in my fear.
Trample them in my fury.
Shred and trample.
Really, see? Tread down, trample. You know, this don't, it's not looking good. You know? Go ahead, bro.
It says, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment.
Exactly. So, like I said, their blood shall be sprinkled on the garments again. It was similar to the death and destruction that's going to come with the return of our Lord and Savior, Yahushua HaMashiach, with the other holy angels that's coming with them. Also, it's going to come also with those thermonuclear warriors, because all of those things, all of them are a part of Yahushua HaMashiach's armies. That's why it's called the Lord of Hosts. Or the Lord of Sabaoth, the Lord of Armies. Not of the Sabbath. You know. You know. And then, like I said, you can just pretty much, like I said, just like how this place is a simple tool, that's sacrifice, you can simple tool to a wine press, you know, like because why? Because great death and destruction is prepared to happen to this place. And the people are going to be what? The people are going to be like unto those grapes, being pressed, you know, being trampled and stepped on, right? Drop it down. Go ahead, bro.
It says, for the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come.
Yep. So, like I said, so the day of vengeance in his heart. So, as he been up there on the right hand side of your house, he been up there meditating vengeance, meditating retribution to pay you back, recompense for all that you have done, right? And then, like we always say, keep that balance. Yeah, he gonna come bring the death and destruction to 2/3. Well, Esau, Edom, he's heathens to 2/3, but also what? Also gonna be accompanied with the destruction, the salvation of the elect. All right, come as well.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 31 and 23. It's talking about the balance. It says, "O love, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, all ye his saints, for the Lord preserveth the faithful, and plentifully rewardeth the proud doer.
So the time of wrath, he's going to preserve his elect. Right? Those who are trying their best to live accordingly, rehearsing the righteous acts of Yahweh Shai, do all the things that he commanded them to the best of their ability. He's going to give them the forth of effort and not doing it deceitfully. He's going to preserve them. But as I said, on the opposite end, the other spectrum of the things, all those who are not doing it, which ultimately is the Israelites, you were given the law, statutes, and covenants. You were given those service and those covenants and those promises. So it's supposed to be up to you to hold that standard. We know in this time period it's going to be just his men. Those he has woken up together with his spirit to do this work. Those are the ones that they're going to be preserved. And also the elect lady as well, the numeral multitude as well, the children as well, they're going to be preserved. But the rest of the world, like I said, talking about you saw even the heathens in the 2/3, y'all going to be on the other end of the spectrum. Y'all going to receive death and destruction. All right.
Back to Isaiah chapter 63 and verse 5. And I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold.
Right, because like I said earlier, who's trying to help us? Who's trying to get us out of our situation? Who said, hey man, you know what, we've been watching over for the past hundreds of years, how you've been doing this thing. Hey, how about you give them a break? Give them their own portion, give them their this, give them their that. Ain't none of these nations looking to come to help us. That's why our hope and our faith is in Yahweh Shai, to be our refuge, to be our protector, to be our savior, to be our shield and our buckler. None of these nations gonna do that for us.
And you've seen the failure of the nation, especially in Saudi Arabia. There are people marching up and down the streets year upon year upon year. All these atrocities. What has really changed? Nothing, because Yahweh Shai has to say this. All right? Nothing else.
That's a real quick. Go ahead.
Okay, I was going to say, that goes back to what you said, you know, the scriptures say, what nation have not taken part of her spoils? Everybody put their hands on us, you know, everybody. So, yeah, we got no help from anyone, just like the scriptures say, you know, miserable are they who took her, and miserable are they who received her.
And let's say if you didn't, right? Well, you're still accessory to the crime.
Yep.
Because you're still in bed with it.
Yep.
So you get charged too.
Yep.
You know, so just putting it out there. Guilty by association.
You benefit out of the situation.
That's that confederacy.
Exactly.
Jeremiah 50:34. Their Redeemer.
Actually, it's not in verse 33.
Jeremiah 50:33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah
So
were.
hold on, say look, the children of Israel, talk about the northern kingdom, and said the children of Judah, talk about the southern kingdom, right? Listen closely.
Were oppressed together.
So the last time as a whole, as the 12 tribes together as a whole, being oppressed together during the time of Pharaoh in ancient Egypt. Right? We speak about, this about, where was they oppressed together?
It says in all. It's weird.
But go ahead, read it this way.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go.
This place there, this is the second place where they oppressed together. It's talking about over here in Babylon the Great. Because they said during the time of this, during the time of Jeremiah, who was in power? The Babylonians. See, the Assyrians already had took the northern kingdom and took them to their places. And then after they was destroyed, whatever, then the northern kingdom took counsel upon themselves to come to over here to America or Iceland or another land, you know, where mankind never dwelt. So they ain't talking about when people visited this and that. No, we're talking about dwelt, establish civilization. That's what the northern kingdom did before anybody else in the world, right? So in this precept right here, it said that they were oppressed together in this new Babylon. And mystery Babylon is speaking of this, talk about who? Esau Edom, ultimately white, over here in America, Babylon the Great. Esau Edom is called what? The daughter of Babylon, right?
Yep.
Right? And it said that they, what's that last part say?
It says, all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go.
Because why? Just like back in the time of ancient Egypt, Pharaoh refused to let us go because why? We was that workforce, you know, of the economy of everything. We made everything for. Like, bro, I'll go ahead and say we always say they got us in captivity. All the nations prosper.
All the nations prosper. Every single nation, and then at the same time, once we were taken out of those nations, saved from those nations, they haven't risen again. They've never been the same. Egypt hasn't been the same. Babylon, Iraq. You know, that hasn't been rich. Greece, Rome. You know, none of those. You know, even though Rome is doing a terrible thing.
this next place where, like I said, Israel, the children of Israel and Judah were oppressed together. They are pressed together over here on the western hemisphere, the othermost parts of the earth, the ends of the earth, over here in the west, from Canada, you go up to Canada, Greenland, whatever I want to add, all the way down to South America.
Yep.
All 12 tribes, predominantly all the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel are over here.
Yep.
But we also are scattered to the four corners of the earth as well. So we pretty much in every nation.
Yep.
That's why we sent also as a prophet to the nations to not only tell you about your destruction that's coming to your calamities, but also our people are within your nations, looking like you, taking on your aspects, your customs, your language, what you do, right? But a lot of them, their seed line goes back to the 12 tribes of Israel. So the Spirit gets upon them when they hear this word to put off those ways and come back to Yahweh Shemashai. Hey, all praise to Yahweh Shemashai for that. Right. That you be able to elect. But as far as the rest of our people that's over there in those nations, well, they just going to continue to be asleep and remain in the congregation of death until they receive their physical death from the thermonuclear warheads or whatever said judgment that Yahweh Shemashai going to render unto them. Right. That's what's going to happen to them. So yeah, like since proving this chapter right here, the Babylon that's speaking of is talking about over here in Babylon the Great in America. But again, predominantly all the 12 tribes are over here. So it's everywhere else in the world.
Jeremiah 50:34. The Redeemer is strong. The Lord of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon.
Right. So we know the Redeemer is hopefully talking about the Yahweh Shai. So like I said, through the Spirit of Yahweh Shai, that's going to be the ones who preserve us. That's going to be the ones who protect us. That's going to be the ones who deliver us from this wretched, diabolical system in this country underneath these people. That's who's going to save us. Not no Balfour Declaration or no piece of paper writing. None of that's going to happen. Like the scripture say that the saints shall take the kingdom. The Lord not coming down here to negotiate nothing. The Lord coming down, like they said, to render vengeance to the rest of his nations. First and foremost, to you, Esau, you're the number one culprit. And everybody who in bed with you, just like you heathens and you 2/3, you all gonna catch. Really gonna get it from the Yahweh Shai.
Back to Isaiah chapter 63 and verse 5. And I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold. Therefore, my own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury it upheld me.
He gonna come. He gonna come help us. Anybody else out here helping us, looking out for us, accidentally doing a moment for us? No. So he gonna come. He gonna, like you say, he gonna like from our own arm brought salvation unto us by his own power through the Spirit of God Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? He gonna come. He gonna render death and destruction to his enemies, and he can preserve and save, and redeem his elect. And then also the redemption will come to the whole nation as a whole, because we say all Israel shall be saved. But in this time period, on this side, on the elect is going to receive that salvation. Only the elect will have that hedge protection in the perilous times that we are entering right now in these day and age right now.
Verse 6. And I would tread down the people in mine anger, and make them drunk in my fury. And I will bring down their strength to the earth.
Just like how they, most people like I said, talk about, and say who's just coming from Edom. So talk about the power structure of Edom. He gonna bring that down, bring that strip down to the earth. Then that's what's it. Come sit in the dirt. Come sit in the dust. Virgin daughter of Babylon, right? There's no throne. Yeah, there's no throne. He gonna bring you down unto naught. Bring you down to nothing, to destituteness, to confusion, to make you lowest of the low. Right? When he come back and he can conquer the rest of these kings, the rest of these nations. He gonna bring y'all down low. And you'll never rise again.
Hey, they go back to what? That baseline.
Right.
He said, well, I said, they already the base man.
That's right.
Completely lower than base.
Lower than that.
That's right.
So that's what we constantly, we sitting there every 8 seconds, but we come in to have our shot. This year we see more than we can turn up. So hey, our salvation is strong there than when we first believed.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we understand how salvation gonna come, who our help gonna be. Right? And that's why you gotta continue to do those things that are commanded to you so that you may receive that salvation, that protection in the times that we are entering.
That's right.
Back in Isaiah 34:7, it says, and the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness.
Con, that's pretty much just reiterating, all the wicked people, all those nations, the 2/3 of Israel, going to be destroyed. Once he comes back, and he says that in you know, they're going to be soaked with blood. Just went into Isaiah 63, you know, all that bloodshed, all right, and the dust made fat with fatness. You know, that's that dust remaining from that flesh when you turn into powder. You know, you're going to be destroyed, just dust everywhere.
In my scripture, it says, what's that, another word for the soap? It says drunken. It's drunken with blood, you know? Yeah, there's a lot of bloodshed.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 26 and verse 21. It says, "For behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain."
You know, that's the thing. It says it comes out of his place. It's from heaven. You know, it's coming down. Like I said, it's coming with clouds. Coming from the heavens. Read that again.
This is Isaiah chapter 26 and verse 21. "For behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity."
The inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity are you 17 nations and 2/3 of Israel. You know, and of those 17 nations, specifically, you saw Edom. Okay?
It says, "The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain."
Fine.
God's ultimate, you know, with the destruction and the vast killing that Yahweh Bashim Yashai is bringing, there's going to be a lot of dead body drops, right, by way of the laser beams, concentrated laser beams coming from the chariots, right, and the nuclear missiles. Right, ultimately, due to the fact that all this mass death and destruction is going to be going on, right, there's not going to be enough time to bury the bodies. Right, there's not going to be enough time for lament, for mourning. All right.
Like in Isaiah 34:8, it says, "For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of recompense for the controversy of Zion."
It says the Lord's vengeance. Okay? Again, that's going into that righteous anger. You know, he's going to come back, and he says in the year of recompense. That recompense is to pay back. You know, pay back for the controversy of Zion. So he's paying you back for what you did to his children. You know, just like the scriptures say, you know, he that touches you touches the apple of his eye. Okay? You touch the apple of his eye, and he's going to shake his hand at you. That's that rebuke. And it's not this. You know, it's that nuclear destruction and them concentrated laser beams. Okay? Go ahead.
Book of Ezekiel. Book of Ezekiel 25:14.
We'll start at 12. Yes, let's start at 12.
Verse 12. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, because that Edom has dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and have greatly offended, and revenged himself upon them."
God, and that's that greatly offended and revenge himself upon us because of that blessing. All right? Going all the way back to Genesis 27. All right?
It says, "Therefore thus saith the Lord power, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, I will cut off men from beasts and from it, and I will make it desolate from teeming, and they of dead shall fall by the sword."
All right, it's going to make Edom, the entire nation of Edom, a wasteland. Okay? And every land that they have, you know, it's going to be a waste. They're going to totally destroy it. Okay? Lay it waste, never be inhabited again. All right?
It says, "And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger, and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord power."
He said he will lay upon his vengeance by the hand of his people Israel. So that's not saying you go out now and do something, because the scripture says, you know, wait upon me. Okay, okay, and by his hand, he will lay his vengeance upon Edom by us. Okay, that's when he gives us that spiritual power to do what we're supposed to do. Okay, that's it. That's it. All right. With that, we want to give all praises, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
Again, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well in teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and our fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. And also salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird. To you we say, Shalom.
Shalom.
Above Abal.
Above Abal.
Kwam Yasharallah.
Kwam Yasharallah.
All right. Shalom to you, sincere Akim and Aqua from the Common Board.
Shalom.